Okay, so this story is really crazy. Imagine losing someone in a plane crash and finding out that the body you're about to bury isn't even your loved one. That's what some families in the UK are saying happened after the Air India crash. And what's make it worse? India is saying that nothing went wrong at all. So who is actually telling the truth? It all started with the Air India Flight 171 crash last month in Ahmedabad. A horrible accident that just keeps getting more and more complicated. First, there was the one single miraculous survivor who walked away almost untouched. Then came reports about someone in the cockpit that might have caused the crash either deliberately or by mistake. And now, weeks later, there's another twist. And it's pretty disturbing, to say the least. I came across this article in The Guardian, and apparently some families in the UK were sent the wrong bodies. I know, wrong bodies, you think, okay, strange. They did a DNA test, and it turned out the bodies didn't match with the relatives' DNA. So they were sent a complete stranger. Imagine getting a casket thinking it's your family member and then realizing it's a complete stranger. I think that's horrible. That's at least what happened to two families in the UK. So the first story is about a family in Leicester that was told that they had received their loved one, and the funeral director was thinking that something didn't seem right, and he arranged for a DNA test, and of course, like I said, it turned out to be a wrong person. The second family supposedly were delivered body parts that belonged to different people, not from the same person, but from different people. Can you imagine? So calling this a mistake, it doesn't feel quite right. It's more like a disaster. I get it. It can be really hard to identify remains after a plane crash, but in cases like this, you got to take your time and do it properly. You cannot rush it. You can't simply rush it. These families are already grieving and they get hit with this. This is heartbreaking, actually. Um, Now, the Indian side of the story sounds totally different. Totally different. The government says everything was handled professionally. Let that sink in. Professionally. And they say they followed the proper steps and that Air India isn't to blame. The DNA work was done by a hospital in Ahmedabad. Okay, I get that. Hospitals do DNA tests and airplane companies fly planes, so that's fine. But clearly, someone messed up. And instead of blaming others, someone needs to step up and say, hey, we made a mistake. Sorry, we made a mistake. But right now, we got two completely different stories. UK families saying we buried strangers, and India saying, no, we did everything right. To be fair, identifying plane crash victims is super hard, especially after a fiery crash where the plane basically exploded. DNA can get destroyed and bodies do get badly damaged. But still, if you tell a family that this is your loved one, then you have to be completely sure. There's no question about that. You have to be completely sure. You can't just say that this is who it is if you're not completely sure. And they were not right. Right now, we're just stuck with a really tough question. Why is India not taking responsibility that they effed up? I don't know. That's the big question. Or is something else going on? If it was me, I would just admit, uh, take the blame that I effed up and didn't do my job good enough, and then move on. Because at the end of the day, these families want closure, and some of them don't even know who they're burying. Can you imagine that? I will for sure be keeping an eye on Air India Flight 171 because it is a story that keeps on giving. I do not think that we've heard the last crazy plot twist. Something will emerge, and we will be hearing something even more crazy. Let me know in the comments what you think is the most craziest or disturbing thing about this accident, and who should be held responsible. And while you're at it, down in the comments, you can also just give me a subscribe and a like if you want to hear more stories like this in the future. So until the next time, stay safe.